Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be playing as Norway in EU5. Now, I can hear you through the screen with the burning question, but Brown Dog 2, why should I care about this random stretch of valleys and fjords? And my answer to you is because we have two big goals today. One, I want to bring the Scandinavia region to heel and play relatively tall around Oslo. And two, I want to do what our forefathers have done. I want to see the New World. I want to go to Canada and bring it under Norwegian control. So, without any further ado, let's get right onto it and start doing the nation setup. As Norway, we already start with Harbour Administration, which is a fantastic reform to open with. It also means that we are very heavily slanted towards naval, so we're going to be playing around that. We will pop in autocracy as our main government reform, give the nobles a couple concessions so that they shut up, give the clergy a couple concessions as well, give the burghers a whole lot of concessions, give the commoners common militia. Coming out of this, the nobles are a little mad, but who cares? Now, the diplomatic situation in Norway off the bat, we have three vassals: Iceland, Orkney, and the Earldom of Greenland. We start in a PU with Sweden. We are the weaker member of the two, but not by much, so we could probably end up getting a sovereign secession law and taking control of it and maybe doing something with that. I haven't decided yet. Denmark is quite powerful at the game start with 10,000 levies, which roughly matches what Sweden and I can field, but that's something to be aware of. Our ruler is incompetent. For once, we actually don't have land to integrate off the bat, although culturally, the north half of our country is Sami, although nobody lives up there, and everything that's Arctic is incredibly hard to develop. So the only part of our country that's actually worth something is the continental and oceanic provinces there. Arctic has massive negative modifiers: pop, cap, supply limit, dev growth, colonial migration. It's really hard to grow pop, so we have this kind of thin lifeline of terrain to really take advantage of, and that's pretty well it. In good news, Oslo is a fantastic port. Yeah, and that's without even putting down any dock buildings, and we should have a lot of very good ports. Yeah, we have a lot of very good ports along the coast, so hopefully we'll be able to build those up as we go. I suppose one of the good things going for us is we have our own market in Oslo, but it has a value of 70 ducats, which is about piss poor when something like Lubeck has 700 or London has 300. Alrighty, so everything we do is pretty well going to be about building up our central core right here. That's where all of our population is. Actually, we have a small pocket up in the north, but that's only 40,000 people. And we have a small pocket off in the west, but the bulk of it is in and around Oslo. If we're lucky, eventually we'll be able to make Oslo a city, but that'll have to be after the Black Death comes and rips and tears. When it comes to something like roads, we have none. When it comes to something like lakes, we don't get to take advantage of lakes like Sweden does. So yeah, Norway. Although we do have decent rivers with the mountains, so we're able to push an acceptable amount of control. Right? No, because this is all mountains. So yeah, even the terrain is fighting us. Mountains and hills. Yeah, no wonder we're just a bunch of boat people. Every time it goes winter, we almost go bankrupt because you have to buy food, because believe it or not, when half of your country freezes over and everything stops working, people get hungry and sit in their houses, so we lose 4 ducats a month. So the simple solution, just don't let them buy food. Just tell them, no, you're starving to death. People actually love that. It works great. Haven't heard anybody starved to death complain. Otherwise, just settling tribesmen, because we start with some tribesmen up north, and working on boosting stability. Believe it or not, when you're sitting on a frozen ice shelf in between two valleys, there's not much to do besides wait for money to come in. An absolutely key part of our economy is the silver mine right here in Kongsberg. Hopefully, it's going to let us get out of whatever awful debt cycle we're in. We're kind of limited on how far we can grow because roads don't work in the kind of well, they work for the flat land we have here, but roads don't really work well, pushing over mountains. So until we get banking, really can't push control. Banking because I need the bark advancement. Because galleys really don't do good for pushing control. So I've just been given a really interesting opportunity. I don't know why, but Orkney has a follow-through on threat CB against Scotland. Okay, because apparently Orkney claims this province and a random province deep in Scotland. And does it really fit with what I'm trying to do here? No, not at all. I'm not going to lie. But maybe we could pick apart like some of the isles or just steal some of Scotland just for the love of the game. I mean, they're weaker than us. Their vassals are weaker than us. Are they guaranteed by France? No. So there's really nothing they could do to stop us. Let me get a diplomat and see if I can invade Scotland. Alrighty, well, I know that this basically immediately contradicts the hey, let's play tall gameplay, but we're broke, and even if I just steal Scotland's money, it would put me very far ahead. So we're gonna sail on over, land in the Orkneys, and do as our forefathers have done, and Viking about the place. I don't think the Scots have any good forts. Not that I can see. So, away we go. Alrighty, well, I don't know exactly how I got here, but I'm going to full annex Scotland, which will give me all of their vassals. It will piss off England, but yeah, this is actually peak tall gameplay. How mad is everybody at me? England cares a little bit. Nobody else really does. The nice thing is, for the moment, we have Sweden covering our ass. Alright, Scotland looks awful right now. I just need to get a diplomat so I can give land away to my subjects. And then we'll make it look pretty, I promise. England has joined a coalition against me. If England wanted to, they could decimate me right now. So we're just going to hope they don't. Alrighty, just like that, we're going to give Orkney, Sutherland, Perthshire, it's going to stay that way. The Isles will get Argyll and the Inner Hebrides. Galloway will get the rest of Galloway. Lothane will get the rest of Scythdale. And we'll keep these two states for us. No. We'll give this state away, Fife to Perthshire and Angus to Aberdeenshire. And doesn't Scotland look a lot better? Oh, okay. And England has immediately decked coalition on me. That's fair. There's no way I can beat this. So I'm just going to see if there's a way for me to offer tribute out of this. To get out of this war with England, I'm going to let them humiliate me, give up Ross and Moray, and give them the ducats they will need to let me go. I knew I was pushing it just like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get Scotland all in one war, but we do actually get to live. It is a bit of debt that we're taking on. Oh, like six ducats a month in the hole. Almost going bankrupt. But we'll be fine. We'll recover. I hope. Now, at some point, our buffoon of a king did die, but we still have the PU Sweden, so we should be able to maintain that. PUs in EU5 aren't great. I don't think we'd ever be able to integrate Sweden. We definitely could get more powerful than them, especially if I'm gonna you know, I would like to sail on down and visit Denmark again, because with Scandinavian languages, Swedes, well, they all talk funny relative to each other, but Danish, if I remember, is extremely nasally compared to Norwegian and Sweden. The only other joke that I know is that every town over in Norway speaks a completely different dialect. So the joke goes. As for Sweden, I don't know. The only thing I know about Sweden is that they speak English instead of Swedish. Yeah, no, that's it. There's nothing remarkable ever to come out of Sweden. Nothing at all. What has Sweden ever done for the world? Besides make bad Husqvarna chainsaws compared to Still. I do wonder, maybe I could get Sweden up. Maybe I can invite Sweden. Well, that's another problem. I can't ally Sweden because we're in a PU, so I have to wait to be able to do mutual offense to invite Sweden into anything, because I think Sweden would want to go in on Denmark, but I can't ally Sweden independently yet, which is a uniqueness of a PU, because you would think like it acts as a defensive alliance, but not as a. You should have the choice to make it a bit more integrated, even if it is just a formal alliance, and then like get the alliance benefit from free. There are so many ways that PUs could be improved, and they just feel so a resounding eh. Anyway, that's I should probably get off of my soapbox, pack up and go home. Interesting. I just got a war goal on man from the Isles, so I think I'm just gonna pop in, steal it, and get out. Because, not like I can antagonize Britain anymore, or England anymore. Alrighty, and just like that, we're gonna give man back to the Isles and take their 10 ducats. Oh boy. Riveting. While we're on the topic of riveting gameplay, I'm just going to take the Parliament approved claims I have and go in on Moray, just to clean up the borders a bit after what England did to me. Alrighty, and just like that, the war with Moray was finished up real fast, so we'll just spit them back out as Moray at the historical subject. Just like that, the Black Death is coming on. We lost 100,000 people, so yeah, we went to right about where I was hoping to with 300,000. Not a fantastic experience, but definitely could be worse. Alrighty, so we can finally start to reform the PU Sweden. So I am going to try and get to... So first we will vote for established seniority. I believe Sweden will vote with me. It's a little bit expensive because we have to pay for the legitimacy to get it back. I believe Sweden will vote with me, yes, because Sweden will become the primary. As a human, I really hope that I can outdo the AI. It does mean that technically I'm making myself Sweden's bitch for a bit, but hey. I can't, I don't want Sweden to get away on me, and I think I'll be able to integrate them. Alrighty, and just like that, we have gotten established seniority in the Union. Sweden is the senior, which isn't perfect, but what this does mean... Oh, I need to be the senior to enact further things. Okay, what this does mean is that they want to keep me around, and hopefully they don't do anything stupid. Other news, besides throwing in our lot with the Swedes, I'm just going around, I'm going to try and urbanize the nice tiles near the capital. Ski, Moss, Bergens, Sand. Hopefully build up some wharfs, some nice docks here, so that when we do come to banking, I could really efficiently push naval control out of the capital and maybe far abroad. It's so peaceful, building up roads from the capital, slowly pushing out control. Hopefully, Bergens. How do you get control, actually? No, we just leave the port and come back. Are all of my capital areas good ports? No, not at all. I really thought Norway has some good ports along the coast, but I really thought Norway would be nothing but good ports. I guess there's a point where you get so far north they all start to freeze in over the winter. But I really thought this would all be, better. Man, Sweden really does look like something I can't talk about on YouTube. Just wow, ain't that one hell of a country to have as a silhouette. And for our next parliament thing, we're going to fabricate a CB on Ross and finally bring them back into the fold after England so rudely expedited us. Fantastic. And just like that, we'll fully annex Ross, take his money, kick him to the curb. And I will first cede the Outer Hebrides to the Isles, and then I will re-release Ross as the historical subject. The next step is just to save up 350 ducats so I can start setting down a town in Regeness and Ski and so on. And of course building a bunch of wharfs as well. I was just looking at our the number of world power we are against Sweden, because that is what controls who is the senior partner. And the gap between us, right, we're 130th, they're 53rd, makes them seem a lot more important. But when I was actually just reading the number, we have 50 great power score, where Sweden has 55, and most of that comes from them having a regular navy. So if I was to build up a regular navy and a regular army of any amount, I would be able to shoot right past them. Or if I was able to get a serious amount of population under my control. And so it really shouldn't be that bad to get Sweden to be my lesser. I mean, technically Sweden is closer to being a great power than Poland, but practically that's not the case. So that number is bogus. In fact, just as a glance, really should kind of reconsider how that's calculated, because it seems like, well, tax base is taken into effect, and population is taken effect, and army levy is taken effect, but like, I don't know, it feels like maybe Sweden's being overvalued somehow. And also, Regness has just broken over 10,000. So after we're finished kowtowing to the Poles, we will I'll rival the Teutons. After we've just finished kowtowing to the Poles, we will start setting down some new towns. Now, I couldn't help but notice that Denmark was getting burned down by both Holstein and the Hansa. So, I was thinking, it seems like a fantastic time to swoop in and maybe steal something like northern bits of northern Jutland. Now, I don't actually have a spy network on them, and the Danish Navy is too big for me to overcome. Although I could probably get military... No. We'll just build a spy network on them the old-fashioned way. Because, yeah, I'll be able to do attack threatening rival. Alrighty, so let's see if we can build a spy network on the Danish before they're out of that war, and really take advantage of them. Because Denmark has some really nice population dense land compared to what we're running here. Well, in just the country of Denmark, they have 400,000 people, which is more than we have in our entire, very long nation. On top of that, we just got enough that we can turn Bragarness into a town, as well as Ski is almost at the 10,000 pops we need, and then we're just going to keep making our way down the coast, doing Ski, Sand, Moss, Borg, and genuinely just go down the coast and urbanize all of the coast to push as much naval control as possible, because why not? The only other thing, I have started annexing Lothane. Eventually I want to turn Edinburgh into a city and make it a naval governor, and that'll just be easier to do if I'm able to encourage migration there myself. The Scots won't love it, and I won't have great control. No, that's just it, eh? The Scots, never happy. Actually, are the Scots... Yes, because the Highlanders are... Oh, here's a question. The Scots are the current Scottish. The Highlanders are the old Gaelic? Because the Scots are actually... The Gaelic Highlanders were here, and then the Scots came over from Northern Ireland, if I remember correctly. they were an Irish tribe for a time, or is it the other way around? Because there's none of the like, yes, the Scots and the Highlanders are indigenous to Scotland, but there's none of the original native people of Scotland left. And if I'm wrong, tell me about it in the comments. Hey, engagement bait. Look at that. Well, seeing as Denmark is so weak, I figure I would take the opportunity of my parliament just to generate a parliament CB and go in and beat them down. Because only having 3,000 levies is just too good of an opportunity, and none of his allies are willing to back him up. So we're just going to spike our diplo spending, make sure we get a diplomat. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to take, because obviously it's a Catholic kingdom right against the HRE. I don't feel like having another coalition war trigger against me. My ally of Poland can only carry me so far. But that's for me to find out and for you to see. Okay. Well, the war's won. Poland's willing to come in and cover me. So yeah, this is going to be a nice, easy war. If anything interesting happens, you'll see. But otherwise, let's go. For those wondering, I haven't actually seen the Danish army once. I've seen the navy. You can see it blowing up some of the Isles boats right there, but not their army a single time. So I'm assuming it must be starving to death somewhere in Germany. Well, I have free reign over essentially all of their land. Alrighty, so I'm not going to pretend like what I'm doing here is pretty. I'm going to take these two provinces for myself. I'm going to take Zealand because it has the sound toll on the trade that goes through. I believe it's Zealand that has it. Yeah, they have the Copenhagen sound toll. And I'm going to take southern Schleswig to cut the German states off. I'm pretty sure most of this is going to get released to vassals. Again, forgive the border roar, but it's too free. The antagonism generated for that is as loud as a scooter outside. Annoying, but not enough to make you actually do anything about it. Sweden's vassal of Scania cares, Bremen cares a little, but nobody's actually going to do anything to me. Oh, and sorry, for those of you wondering, Schleswig has been released as a vassal, or a fiefdom. Norland and anything I say here is going to come out sound like the Swedish chef. Then the Solvay has also been released as a fiefdom. I'm keeping the sound toll for myself, mostly, again, because Copenhagen has that sweet sound toll modifier, and as soon as I build a navy, getting control there will be easy. Copenhagen is a fantastic deep water port, so getting control down here should be essentially free. I just got a funny event here, basically letting me convert a fourth of our pops to Swedish, and as funny and as much as I would love to be a Swedish Norway, I can just picture how many people would be frothing at the mouth over that. We're of course going to go and tell the Swedes to shove up their tailpipe. And we have another parliament, so again, we're just gonna use this to kick Denmark down. This time we'll be going for their capital. The coalition has had a chance, the antagonism has a chance to burn down, so it should be just a pretty simple in and out war. We'll finish annexing this, give it back to some custom subjects. So again, if there's anything interesting that happens, but oh, it looks like I didn't even need to go through the effort of making the parliament claims. I forgot that Schleswig was giving me free claims. Well, you know, if I was perfect all the time, I wouldn't leave any of the room for Swedes. And just like that, we have saved the world from the concept of Denmark. So we'll take all their money, take all their land. The coalition, again, is there, but it's just too small to do anything. And that's really the scope of the conquest. Sweden should colonize in everything else. I mean, like even Even Scotland was a surprise for me. You know, it's just a little present. And just like that, Denmark has been cut up into wonderful little bits with the vassal of Vestland, the fiefdom of Ostland, Sonderland, and the Funen. Ah, lovely. If only that was a real language that wasn't spoken by fake people. Wow, I knew integration was slow, but it's only 30% of the way done on integrating Zealand, whereas I've apparently had my vassal of Thisted, of Vensiselthai, long enough that I could improve relations to over 150 with him and start annexing him, which is kind of nuts. And I will still annex him only by 84, so in 5 years, while I'm doing multiple integrations. Alrighty, and just like that, after kind of cheesing it by spamming out a bunch of cogs for the last 2 points, we're able to hit the great power score needed to take over seniority from Sweden for the Union. So we'll steal that back over to the Norwegian Union and finally start to pass some laws in our favor. We've just annexed our first vassal, that of Vensiselthai, on northern Jutland. So those 3 provinces of wheat fields are ours. Oh, sorry, salt, sand, and wheat. So I just noticed a couple fun things while I'm building up Norway proper. One, Hungary without the pest, so you just got Buddha. That's a disgusting blob, and I don't know how that's independent, but they've also taken like the inland half of Croatia, so that's just great. We also have Byzantium, which has been spat out by whom? I don't know exactly who spat them out, but we have an independent Greek Orthodox while the Byzantine Empire still stands. Then we're also having Naples about to start off our favorite game of Where's the Pope? So come back later and let's see if Naples really kicked the Pope out of Italy proper, because the Pope's lost Avignon. So the Pope's probably gonna run off to some random Irish OPM and cause a statistical anomaly with converting an entire province to be Median Italian, someplace completely random. Okay, so I have another interesting opportunity here to marry our heir off to the current king of England, and that would put us in a marriage union with Britain when this guy dies, so long as we don't have another kid. Theoretically, I could end up with a union with England, which would keep them from coming in after all of my land. In other news, we're going to upgrade Moss to a town, so we finally have basically all of the provinces around our capital town. This one is wool, so I'd rather not upgrade it. This one is fish, so I will eventually, but you know, in good time. Oh, and this one is just finished cooking. It's kind of fun just going around plopping down towns. It's cathartic. Oh yeah, let's do a Greenland check. How's it doing? Yeah, 160 people on an island starving to death. Yeah, Greenland might actually depopulate at this rate unless they. No, that's just it. This looks absolutely miserable. There's not a single good there being worked, and in the winter they can't actually make enough food to help themselves. Ooh, and we get the best Parliament event, promote urbanization. So this will promote Colonial to be a town with a slight bellicose movement. And just like that, that'll end up being a town. I love it when it all comes together. Oh, and we've just unlocked the bark, which is gonna do so much for us. I can't even begin to explain how excited I am for that. So our maritime control is about to blow up in a wonderful way. So, in theory, the annexation of Sweden would take essentially to the end of the game. So, I think that we're going to have to do some stacking before we can even really start to consider that. But it's good to know. The other thing I am concerned about is Sweden taking back control. So, I do have to keep in mind and keep building up my fleet just to keep blocking them. Because what matters is this great power score, and if they get too far ahead, it's when they can squeeze it out. So hopefully by spamming out a bunch of barks, we're able to push up our regular Navy size value. Alrighty, so we have just formed a marriage union with England because our king died and the daughter I married off to the King of England has come into power, which means, yes, we're going to end up in a PU with England as well, which is interesting. And there is no way that I can. Well, actually, I could still end up as the senior member of a PU with England if I was to pump out a bunch of professionals. Oh, this could get interesting. I could actually manage to inherit England and marry my way back into the North Sea Empire okay, I like this. Yeah, and if I end up with England, besides a couple of the Welsh miners that broke free and a couple Irish miners, I would have the British Isles and all of Scandinavia. We'll talk about, like, slipping upwards, you know? Finally finished invading Denmark's capital province, which took at least 20 years, so it would have been better just to cede it away to a vassal and re-annex it. Oh, and just like that, we've annexed our first Scottish vassal of Lothain. So that means we now have control of Edinburgh and are technically on the British Isles proper, besides just through vassalage. I'm going to try and get Edinburgh built up to a city and drop a naval governor there. If we do end up with England eventually, I'll try and get my hands on London to do the same, but baby steps, baby steps. Oh, just while I was looking around at Europe, I noticed that our favorite papacy was missing. So who's ready for everybody's favorite game? Where's the Pope? And my personal bet is Northern Ireland. No, he's actually ended up in Germany this time. That's impressive. Has he already converted that? No, he must have moved recently. Well, yeah, he's still Median Italian. So this random county or this random location in the middle of the Rhineland sure is going to end up being made up of Middle Italians. Thanks, EU5. I'm glad you work like this. In other news, we're still urbanizing. Maritime presence is getting much better, which, by extension, the better maritime presence gets, the better control gets, the higher our score gets. Can't stop winning. Very shortly, going to start spam building universities as well. But until then, wharfs, docks, protected harbors, temples, every town, and just keep going. Maybe not the most riveting gameplay, but certainly gameplay. Fantastic. So we've just gotten Edinburgh as a core. While I've been encouraging people to migrate there, I've also had one of my advisors assimilating. So we have ended up somehow outnumbering the Scots. The good news is it means we won't totally run out of control in the province, because technically none of these provinces are within range of me pushing control. And until we can set up a local, not a local governor, a naval governor on Edinburgh, it's kind of sketchy. So that's great. As you can see, though, we have left a lasting cultural marker. And that is my intention for the rest of the Scots as well, to assimilate them away. Probably from Norse Scale and Highlander and Norn as well. Again, if we can get England under our boot, then we will do the same thing. But I don't think I'll ever actually be able to integrate England or Sweden. Just like that, with one more month tick, 2 more ducats will lay down a town in Edinburgh, and the real game will begin. Oh, baby. Here we go. Yes, that is so cathartic to lay down. So it's going to take 3 years, which kind of sucks, and then I get to build a naval governor. Alrighty, and this isn't setting down the naval governor in Scotland. This is annexing the Earldom of Funen, who were on the not Copenhagen Island side. Again, we should be able to get really good control down here, just thanks to the naval proximity. And it's only going to get better. Fantastic. And just like that, Edinburgh is a city, so we'll lay down the naval governor, and in 200 days, we will be pumping control out like mad. Now I just go back to what I've been doing, which is building a bunch of towns along the main stretch and into the North Sea. I want to get 3 big trade fleets, a 20 stack to go between the capital and Copenhagen, another 20 stack for the North Sea coast, and then another 20 stack for the Isles of Britain. And then I think we'll be in a pretty decent place. Otherwise, we're just waiting for the Age of Discovery to kick off and to really colonize. So as you can see, the great dockification of Norway is going quite well. We've really built up basically the primary V. The next step is to start building up down in the Danish area as we continue to integrate the subjects. Just all in the name of pushing more naval control. Our queen is currently 60, so it's most likely quite soon that we fall into a PU with England. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Not that I really want to stop it either. It is unfortunate, though, that we will be the lesser partner because we have 120 Great Power score, and England is at about 140. I could get more score by building up soldiers, but it's just a waste of money, and I'll be able to seize it back from England later. Besides, the Union's already built up, so it's not like they'll integrate us or anything. And if they did, I would get independence. And just like that, the old queen is dead. We have technically left the marriage union. We have technically left the marriage union with Sweden and England, but it's just a matter of time until our king is on the English it's just a matter of time until our king is on the English throne, because the English king, our father, is 60, at which point we're going to fall under England in the Norway, Sweden, England PU. And just like that, we finally have England in our clutches, and apparently like 5 different claim throne CBs on them. So just to make sure, yes, we still are the senior partner, and England technically isn't integrated, so we'll just call the parliament, and to make sure that we get the backing, we will bribe the English nobility. That leaves me with a couple of options. I could look at possibly annexing somebody like Sweden, which apparently would take until the future from now, so I'm probably not going to annex Sweden. I will just do my best to keep annexing away my little Danish vassals then. Wow, theoretically I could annex England by the end of the game. We're getting better. We're getting better. And just like that, we've consolidated our hold on Northern Jutland. We're really burning our... Oh, shit. We're really burning our way down the Danish peninsula. I'm quite surprised that it's going that quickly. So we'll just start working on the next Danish vassal, and then we'll pick up Schleswig after that. And then I think after that, we'll start working on the Scots. Now, the age of Renaissance passed by quite quickly, but that was just for us to get to the main course here. The sweet, sweet colonial game. And with the economy we have built up behind us, I think that we're going to quite comfortably go for Diplo, just to make sure that we can get that quest for the New World and really get out there. So let's drop that diplomatic focus. And yeah, to give an idea of how important building for war was to me, I've only just gotten the armory about 100 years after anybody would really care about getting it. In other Norwegian news, we have towns literally down the entire coast, and we have very good maritime presence in the Danish Sea, the Norwegian Sea, and starting to go up the coast. Proximity to the capital is acceptable. I mean, this is where the majority of the people are in our realm. We have a couple more just a little bit further up, but with time we'll get proper control there. As for Scotland, we are almost done converting it over to majority Norwegian, at least in the parts we own. And the vassals are all prepped to be annexed. We're just waiting to finish up the Holsteinian state and the last Danish state. And after that, really, it's just a matter of good colonial policy. So yeah, I'm going to keep being a steward of the nation, and if anything interesting happens, I will let you know. And just like that, southern Jutland has also been annexed in. That went so fast, I barely even unpaused from the last bit. So we're just going to start on Schleswig and keep it rolling, really. We're doing fantastic. Yeah, we will annex it within 2 years. 2.5. That's how fast this is going. They're so small. We have a bunch of cultural influence. I'm assuming not really. Yeah. Well, we have a bunch of cultural influence relative to China. Because if we look at China with their culture, so China has 2,000, and we have, as Norway, 130. So I don't think we're quite catching China there. We could fight for the naval hegemon. Yeah, China is just, holy shit. China's insane. There's got to be a way to stop every game from just being China as the hegemon, the global hegemon. I guess keep it shattered for longer. But yeah, that's wicked. Anyway, we'll be back when we finish annexing Schleswig. And just like that, the New World Institution has spawned in northern Spain. So it'll be a minute till we get it, but as soon as we get it, oh boy, are we going to Canada. And just like that, Schleswig has been annexed and our control of Denmark is total. So now we're going to start annexing a bunch of Scottish ones, starting with Dividendale. And then we'll move up the peninsula. I should probably get a navy there to push control along the coast as well. These guys are going to go wicked fast though. And just like that, Dividendale is brought to heel. So we move on to, what are you even called? Galloway. And just like that, we're really kind of exploding population. Well, you can see every step there is a vassal annexed, right? And it compounds because we get more people. They grow faster, faster, and faster. So yeah, it's all coming up Millhouse. As for maritime presence, we have really good maritime presence around our home. We're starting to even build up decent presence in the North Sea. Control is generally favorable. Most is 70 on the ports, 50 near the ports. Around here's no good port, so I should probably get something set up. I haven't actually built that many roads. The roads map mode, I really don't have that many roads. This I must have inherited from all the vassals, as for this too. But Norway proper is quite sparse. To be fair, we have good rivers and we all live on the coast, so I'm using boats in lieu of roads. And the return of possibly my favorite event, where I get to give out money for research points. Again, it's taking on a loan, but 15 research points is in theory about a year, a little less than a year's worth of my generation, which is just give me all the loans in the world for that, man. For a loan and a half, that's a good deal. That's a hell of a deal. Actually, while we're at it, I also want to drop some more protected harbors. nothing remarkable is happening. As you can see, the country navally is very built up. We have protected harbors in almost every town. Actually, if I just look at harbor capacity, you can see we have a lot of protected harbors, a lot of docks, a lot of wharves. That is what's keeping this empire together. You know, the North, an empire located in the North Sea. You know, anyway, we just finished annexing Ross, who is right here. We will now move on to Moray, or the Isles. Where do I do something like Aberdeenshire? Yeah, let's do Aberdeenshire. Alrighty, and just like that, Aberdeenshire has been brought to heel as well, which really just leaves us with 3 more Scottish vassals, huh? And just to check our great power score, we're at 156. The English are at 167. So we're still within range. They can't suppress us, and we just got to keep within about 10. Anyway, next up is Moray, and they'll be done real quick. And just like that, Moray has been brought to heel. So we're going to move down onto Perthshire, and after Perthshire, which, oh wow, they're actually going to take a little bit of time. After Perthshire, it's just the Isles, and then our Scottish holdings are consolidated. You know, it's moments like this when I realize that saying I'm going to go play tall, and then I look at what I've done, and I realize I didn't do a good job of playing tall. Like, conquering Scotland, okay, could have gotten away with that. Conquering Denmark, okay, could have gotten away with that. PU over England, you know, it's just like, oh, wait a second. All of a sudden, I was just going to sit on this little strip of the North Sea and cultivate my, 400,000 Vikings. And now here I am, 2 million people deep, reforming the North Sea Empire. Like, oh, whoops. And just like that, Perthshire is under our wing, which only leaves us with the Isles left. And they're going to take, again, a decent amount of time. But then all of Scotland will be ours proper, with an acceptable amount of control. Not perfect. We're still working on building up roads and naval proximity around it, but an acceptable amount of control. This one just has a bad event, for example. Just in anticipation of getting to the New World, I am going to start to explore down the coast of Africa. Just to remind myself how long it can take. So we're going to send whoever has the highest military score, which is good old John Broadfoot. We're going to go and kick that monk off and see if he can't find anything interesting down the coast of Africa. Just like that, we're going to upgrade Oslo to a city. Hopefully we'll actually be able to start develop it and have it be the economic capital of our country again, because it's lost out pretty hard to Edinburgh, who's at 50 tax base compared to Oslo's 30. And just like that, our last Scottish subject is brought under us. So, I think now I can stop paying for all that Diplo spending. And just out of curiosity, how long would it take to annex somebody like Sweden? Because we're as good as we're going to get. 1728, huh? Well, we get it done before the end of the game. Wait, if I was still paying for Diplo spending, would it get faster? No, still 1728. Well, I'll do some more stacking, see if I can't make that any more efficient. Theoretically, could I annex... Wow, it would only be until 1716 for England. And although it will be quite expensive, both money and stability-wise, we will embrace the New World as well, as it will finally start to let us get onto the techs we really care about. Most importantly, overseas exploration. And then we'll come back for a lot of these. So I'm just going to rejigger the tech, and then we'll start getting to the fun stuff. We finally also stacked enough colonial range that we can start getting down to Cape Verde. So we'll try picking that up too before anybody else can get there. So that means we'll both have Greenland and Cape Verde to jump off of into the New World. Hopefully Portugal hasn't dug in too deep by the time we get there. I'm also finally starting to build up roads into Norway proper. I'm just hoping that we can get control going across the mountain with paved roads. Up here, I don't care about. There's nobody lives up there, and if that's 2,000, 2,000, 5,000, doesn't matter. The most north I care about is, what is this called? Not going to try and pronounce that, but we'll call it the province of Niagros. Oh no, something important, something very important has just happened. We now have the ability to do open sea exploration, or oversea exploration. So we're going to open up the tap and basically do as much as we can. And just like that, we can see the Canadian Atlantic coast starting to peek on out. So let's start by exploring the Canadian Atlantic coast. Well, yeah, what did I expect it to be called, I guess. And as soon as we get that, essentially, it's go time into full Colonial Norway, and that's Labrador. And just like that, our first proper piece of colonialism is finished. We now have Ronendal, and soon enough, actually, we should probably, yeah, I'll send a colony up to do the north of it too. Or, no, first I'll clean up the southern tip of Greenland, because I don't want somebody coming in and colonizing that. And then I'll clean up the northern tip of Greenland. Oh, and we've also just discovered the Brazil Sea, which means, yes, we are in Brazil proper. Jaguaribe from Boa Vista. And we'll also explore Atlantic St. Helena. And just like that, you can see we have a lot of explorations going off into Canada and the eastern seaboard. Well, we just sent one off to Quebec as well. May God help their mortal souls. As for colonial range, we're doing incredibly well. We have, what is it? 6,000. So we could pretty well colonize anywhere in the world we wanted to. It's just a matter of getting out there to see it. Oh, shoot. Oh, and our first colony of Cape Verde is finished, all in the name of Norway, so we'll make a new colonial subject there. The Norwegian colony of Cape Verde. That's wonderful. I think that also interrupted our exploration, but you know, swings and roundabouts. Oh, and we have just found Newfoundland proper, which means that, if I remember correctly, the old temporary Norse colony was somewhere on directly on the Atlantic coast. And again, Newfoundland, no good RGOs, no real reason to settle there, as all of it is, you know, relatively bad terrain, very heavily forested, and quite poor climate. Because everything in Arctic is very hard to develop. But I'm still going to do it anyway, just so that nobody else can. The first proper Norwegian New World colony. That's right, boys. We're back. And better than ever. Oh, and that was just our last Greenlandic colony finishing as well. And New Brunswick is discovered as well. Fantastic. Yeah, still no... there is no good RGOs in Canada, but we are here. In other news, the Scottish replacement is going fantastic. We're most of the way done to making Scottish Norwegian. I believe we just finished our first colony in Newfoundland, which will be named appropriately. Welcome back. No, that's not Nova Scotia. That's Newfoundland. And soon enough, we'll actually get Nova Scotia set up down here, a little New Brunswick, and a little Quebec. You know, I'm just looking at the event, the menace from Wicomo, and it's saying that we mean no harm to them, but I did just install a law that means that they're property if we colonize on top of them. So I feel like we might be a little bit disingenuous with that, you know? And our colony of Nova Scotia has just finished as well. Just have to rename you. Rename country. Actually, no, it won't be Nova Scotia because that was for Scotland. Let it be Nova Norwega? Yeah. Yeah, why not? We have the Newfoundland. We got New Norway. We got a lot of development. Oh, and we just discovered Maryland. So yeah, let's go out and colonize Maryland as well. And our colony of New Brunswick just finished. So we're actually gonna. What do we call New Brunswick in this timeline? New Denmark, Nova Denmark. No, New Denmark. And we just keep exploring. It's some automation wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to this system because it's somewhat intensive. Oh, and our colony of Stadacona, which means New Quebec. Let's see. Historically, it was called New France. I could call it New. No, we'll call it. Oh, actually, we have Scotland. So of course, the most logical thing to do, we're gonna call this New Scotland because we couldn't have named it Nova Scotia. That's thinking with portals. And if that makes anybody else hurt on the inside, I want you to know it does make me hurt on the inside too, so don't worry about it. We are missing a lot of stuff. That's fair. Hopefully these guys are able to trade between one another and actually... Are you going to update the name? That's awful. That's so gross. We'll also send somebody off to explore Florida. That is the colony of... Oh, I'm going to cancel these before they fire because otherwise they will break. That is the colony of Maryland. So, who's the name of our queen? Right. I need somebody who's more pronounceable. What's the name of her son? Oh, okay. Adolf Land? Any butter? Okay, Philip Land. There we go. We will call you... Philipland. Its normal name as any. And we'll queue another exploration for the Panamas. Oh, and just like that, Lutheranism has been founded as well. So, I don't think I'm going to convert. I think I'm just going to happily colonize the New World, but, Oh, and we finally discovered Hispaniola. Wait, nobody's there? Why is... Okay, well, we're going to be setting up shop here because this is where the RGOs actually get good gold, amber... kill that guy. Gold, amber, chilies. This is like the stuff that you actually come to the to the New World for. So, yeah, let's start setting up shop and making sure that we can get our name on it all. Start with the amber right there. And we just finished our colony of Kikonektu, which is going to go and join New Scotland. The most obvious place for a French colony to be, New Scotland. Of course, we're going to, instead of forming Ontario here, this is going to be Oslo, Ontario, named in honor of our capital, Oslo. And just like that, we've discovered Panama. And I know that this is going to put me in debt, but a Panama colony that lets us get over to the Pacific is just too tasty to pass up. Hopefully we don't end up like the Darien scheme and have to sell ourselves out to the English for it. But we are going to mint just a little bit more while we wait for some of these colonies to finish. And just to give you an idea of how much better the RGOs are, so if we look at Canada and like Maine, it's lumber, wild game for a little bit of medicaments, a little bit of corn, and a whole lot of fish on the Atlantic. And then as we get down, like even in Maryland, there's tobacco and maize, which are both better, iron. And then we get down to like Florida, cotton, lumber. Okay, Florida isn't great. Like on the
islands of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, cotton, gold, amber, tobacco, clay, chilies, and then you get into like proper Central America. You get cocoa, chili, salt, gold, chili. Like cocoa is an insane trade good. Well, okay, it's worth a lot if I can get it back to Europe, which I'm gonna get it back to Europe and print money. That's the goal anyway. Oh, and England has just made it to the New World as well. I can see they're colonizing the hellhole that is northern Quebec, which is certainly an interesting choice to start. But that means we're going to have one lovely competition and also lovely border gore. As well, our colony of Loga 2. We're actually going to form a new colonial subject here and make some beautiful border gore. I hope I got my borders right. Yeah, Lower Canada. That should be... I think we're a little far east for Ottawa. Oh, geez. I tried to let the AI manage the accounts for a minute, and it did this. So I'm currently trying to unfuck it because I have 40% legitimacy, which is god-awful. Don't let the AI manage your country. Ever. You'll live to regret it. And of course, this new colony that we've just founded is not going to be named Alscon the Q. It is instead going to be named Oslon Tario in honor of our capital, Oslo. Also, not that any of you will care, but the fact that the Ontario standing got the fleur-de-lis on its flag is hilarious. Oh, good. And our colony in South Africa has just finished as well. We will name you. You know what? I'm out of funny names. Give me a minute, see if I can cook up something. All right. Well, the best I can come up with is naming South Africa the Lower Orkneys. Because it's lower than the Orkneys. I know. I am hilarious. We'll also send a colonist off to the Atlantic St. Helena, just because we're going to need some place to ship Napoleon off to, and it better be to me. Oh, we can also see that Castile is landing in... Honduras? I think that's Honduras, or is it Nicaragua? Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras. Yeah. Okay, so Castile's landing in Honduras. Presumably they're going to start looking at Mesoamerica. But hey, as long as I get the island of Haiti to myself, I really can't be mad. Now, the problem is England looks really big on the map in northern Quebec, but it is literally frozen hell up here. This is Arctic, I believe. Climate. Yeah, by the game's own admission, this is Arctic. There is nothing of value up here. Well, I guess you could go seal clubbing, but there's fish, fur, and wild game. England, you can have all that. I'll take the good trade goods down here. Okay? Good deal. St. Helena has just been colonized, so of course we're going to form a new colony, and we'll leave them to starve on that island. For those wondering, Scotland has almost fully been converted to Norwegian. Oh, and England is landing in PEI too. Interesting. So we have company. And just like that, our first colony in Haiti has finished. So what will we name you? Give me a moment. Let me see if I can come up with something funny. All right. So you've heard of Iceland, and you've heard of Greenland. So what about Goldland? That's right, because this land is going to give us a bunch of gold. Clever, right? Well, if we were willing to look at an island and name it Iceland, then Goldland should be totally acceptable. As well as the colony of Puerto Rico, we will send it to join Goldland as well. Because they're already upgrading the gold. Perfect example. In retrospect of this whole game, I probably should have just gone for a federal union with Sweden and England, as I would have gotten a bunch of buffs, and I'm never going to annex either of these guys. But it wouldn't have been funny. And I'm here for the funny. And more of the island of Hispaniola falls under our control and goes to Goldland, which is such a great name. Really, the greatest name of our time. So England is certainly making a couple interesting choices, like their colony of Coxsoak. Yeah, that's not how it's pronounced, but that's what I'm going to say. Their colony of Coxsoak, who is both in control of PI and northern Quebec. They decided to put the capital, again, in Arctic hellscape, which is a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out for them. And the colony of Higate finishes, and we let it join Goldland. It's just a matter of time. Once we finish up with Goldland, we'll start colonizing Cuba, and I suppose we'll hand that off to Goldland as well. The RGOs in the Caribbean are so much better than North America. Like, I wanted to focus up here, but there's no money in it, and it's just sending pops to low development land when all of the money is right here. As well, our colony of Maguana has finished, and of course it will join Goldland as well. And we take the final bit of Haiti on our wing and let it join Goldland. And of course we start colonizing into Cuba now as fast as we can. Ooh, or do I pick up the Bahamas first just because it'd be funny? Yeah, let's go and pick up the Bahamas too. Just taking a quick look at our subjects. If we look at managed subjects, the wealthiest would be Iceland, followed closely by Goldland, Philipland, which is Maryland, Nova Scotland, New Scotland, which is Quebec, New Denmark, which is New Brunswick, Oslo, Ontario. Oh, why did I name them these way? It's so bad. It makes my brain hurt. And our colony of Panama has finally finished. We'll just form a new colonial subject. Ah, shit. Should have canceled the explorations. What did I just lose? I think it was just my exploration of the Galapagos. Oh well, that doesn't really matter. We're just, at this point, all I really care to do is circumnavigate the world, more or less, and I'd like to finish coloring in the Caribbean. Colonization in this game, because you don't get the same feedback. It's a little, I don't want to say dull, but it doesn't give you the same hit it does in EU4, that's for certain. Wow, I've only just kind of realized how massive the Portuguese-Brazilian colony is. That's only in 50 years. That is nuts. If the highlighted line is their coastline, that is, well, it's basically all of modern Brazil, which I guess would be appropriate, wouldn't it, Portugal? But makes everything that I've done seem kind of wimpy. And also for a Scotland update, we're just waiting on one last province in the Inner Hebrides. Otherwise, everything else is Norwegian primary. Oh, except this. I left this as Norn. Okay, well, we accept Norn anyway. But just the island of Mull has a little bit of Norse Gael left. Otherwise, the Danish, because we're using them to colonize so much, are getting shipped off en masse. So Norwegian really is kind of growing here at a slow pace. Even though, yeah, we accept Danish, they're still getting kicked out. That's awesome. England really is spreading like a cancer in the New World. I mean, I suppose they're doing up here what I was doing in the Caribbean. It's just, again, this colony is a frozen hellscape of 80,000 people with a whole 3 tax base to their name, because they're not able to push any real control. If I look at the control map, they're not able to push any real control because it's so many sea zones and it's such poor terrain. And they'll never actually be able to build up any value because of the climate. But hey, England, as much as I wish northern Quebec was worth a damn, it's just big on the map. You're just making yourself look stupid. Meanwhile, our colony of Gamigai has finished, so we'll send it off to join Goldland. Not the first colony I expected to finish, but I'm not going to complain. And then we just really have one last piece of Cuba to colonize, and all of the Caribbean I care about will be mine. All unified in beautiful, beautiful Norwegian. And our second part of Panama finished colonizing, so we're just going to let them join Panama. That colony was never going to be anything more than just a skipping stone for us to get on over, but thank you for your sacrifice. We'll send our last colonial charter to the island of Cuba, so in a matter of time, this will all be under glorious Goldland. And just like that, we add another state to Goldland, as well as one more for Goldland. So we're just one state away from Goldland being a pretty well completed colony in my eyes. And we've just discovered the American West Coast, so now we're going to start going into California and Cascadia, and essentially just planting our flag everywhere we can. Oh, and France has also joined the party. They have a colony in seemingly Georgia, and now coming down on into Florida. On that note, I should probably push out Maryland a little bit. Sorry, Philipland. Don't wanna get confused with anything. I also just noticed that somehow Oslo, Ontario has ended up with the flag of, instead of the fleur-de-lis, what's the correct way to say this? The Virginia battle banner, I think is the nice way of saying that, which is funny in and of its own right. But yeah, so we have Norwegian Confederates or something like that, I guess. In other news, Goldland is almost finished. Philipland has reached Greater Philipland. Cannot recommend a colonial game. It is very slow, and I'm not sure how much further I can make it because I want to actually edit and post this within a reasonable amount of time, and this is already day 3 of recording this game. In other news, England, and religious war. And just like that, we have discovered Upper California. So let's just find the best natural harbor. Yeah. And the RGOs out here are, well, actually a lot of fish. I was kind of hoping for a bit of gold. Oh, well, and mercury too. Interesting. You don't see mercury every day. We'll throw down a couple colonies here for California and start a Norwegian colony on the west coast too. Well, besides Panama, but Panama is that's different. I don't know exactly how it's different, but it is different. Oh, so other fun thing, Sweden just managed to get out of the PU because they had a noble revolt. So now it's just England and I. Man, EU5, I'm tired, boss. With the final colony of Havana, which we'll let join Goldland, our rule of the Caribbean is as complete as I care it to be. Could we pick up the Lesser Antilles? Yes. Oh, although the two Sicilies are already here. There's just not the value there for me to make it worth it. It's a lot of fish. We have enough fish. As well, our colony of Montauk, we will form a new colonial subject, and I will have to come up with a funny name for New England. New Jutland will do. Get it? Because kind of like the Jutland Peninsula, it's starting on a peninsula. At least that's the idea behind the name. Let's see if it sticks. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to call it here. There's just not that much to do with the colonizing. I would have liked to connect, but it's droll. It's This was a good campaign. I mean, I did more conquest than I really intended to at the start. Starting as Norway with we had 400,000 people. We've grown to 3 million. So we've, for reference, our colony of Goldland here has more than our starting pop. We did lose Sweden from the Union due to a unfortunate noble revolt. We still have England, and England actually hasn't taken over the senior partner status, which I don't fully understand why, but I'm glad they haven't. Our control has not really changed that much since game start, or since once we got the navies up and running. We have good control in Scotland and good control near Oslo, and once you get near the mountains, it drops off pretty roughly. Culture-wise, obviously, we're still Norwegian. The Danish are slowly getting converted over to Norwegian, and there's no remnant of the Scots left besides this one province in England. Everything is a full core. Colonially, it's a hot mess in Canada. England is decided to paint all of the Hudson Bay with the colony of Coxoak. Great name. Oslo, Ontario, which I only just realized is way too far east. Because let's see here. Yeah, Kitchissippi, Ottawa should be right about here. Instead of where I put it, which is where Montreal should be. Either way. Oslo, Ontario is broke. New Scotland is doing okay. New Denmark is doing okay. And we're spending a lot in developing Nova Norwega. Newfoundland is doing okay. Greenland, better than there at the start of the game. And that's all I can say for that. The real success story here is Goldland. Goldland is always fun. Panama as well. And we've just started expanding into the American West Coast. Economically, I tried letting the AI run, and it has been a travesty. I was spending essentially the last 50 years just sitting here and watching the AI do whatever this is, while I was trying just to sit down and focus on the economy. So can't recommend that. Other interesting things about the economics, we really have not built up anything during the Age of Discovery. We've remained pretty stagnant. If you enjoy watching me fail to keep Sweden in a union and annex England until 2094, drop a like, drop a subscribe. And if you don't, do it anyway. Tell me you hate me in the comments. Give me that sweet engagement. Sell me your time. Just taking a quick look at the rest of Europe, though, for anything else interesting that happened. Of course, the Pope is somewhere in the HRE. Yep. And the Pope has, of course, converted the province of Eifel entirely to Median Italian. Hungary is disgusting. Poland is disgusting. Nothing that unprecedented has happened in this world. Of course, France is being an absolute monster and eaten all the way into the Netherlands. Italy split between Milan and two Sicilies. Aragon is a thin strip of land on the Mediterranean. But yeah, either way, thank you very much for your time. I hope you all have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you again. This is Brown Dog 2, out.